Hi, my name is Fennell Belfort, and today is the 16th. So I just finished the sheep's heart dissection, and for this chapter, we're just talking about the cardiovascular system. So we're going to be labeling the different and the main components of the sheep's heart, which is very similar to a human heart. As far as notes, I just have the label of pretty much like the checklist of everything we're supposed to be going over, just to make sure I touch up on everything per usual. Some of the structures are a little bit hard. Give me one second. Some of the structures are a little bit hard to see, so I'll try to explain them as much as I can. Probably got cut up during the dissection, but the main part you can see here is the aorta, which is the main valve right over here. That's your aorta right over here. So looking at it, let me see if I can angle this in a way that you can see. It's gonna be hard to see. I'll try to see if I can stand it. But I'll try to describe it as much as I can as it's facing me, basically. This is basically the apex right here. This is the base. So over here, it's almost like it's on the opposite of what my hand is. So this is my right hand. So over here, you have the left atrium and the left ventricle is right over here. This is my left hand. So this is the person's right side of the heart. So over here, you have your right atrium on the top, and the right ventricle is right up on the bottom over here. And right in between them, if I turn this around, you can see the line going straight down over here. That's your coronary arteries, which obviously is the main blood supply to the heart. So these are your coronary arteries right over here going straight down. If I open this on the interior side, you're going to see this really thick, it's going to be hard to see. Basically, this is the interventricular septum, basically, which separates the two interventricular, which is in between the ventricles. This right here over here separates the two ventricles. As well as if you can look in here, you'll see the chordae tendineae right over here, which attaches the ventricles to the lower part of the heart. So that's your chordae tendineae right over here. So just to reiterate, you have my right hand. This is my right over here. So you have, this is your left atrium, the left ventricle, the right atrium, the right ventricle. Your chordae tendineae is over here, and your intraventricular septum is right in here as well. Like I said, some of the structures are really hard to see because it's kind of hard to angle this as I'm talking. But I'll try to explain as I'm going along with it. Other structures we have, so you have the bicuspid valve, which is the valve that's on the left side essentially. So if you're going from the left atrium to the left ventricle, you're essentially gonna go through the bicuspid or the mitral valve. On the right side, you have the tricuspid valve. So between the right atrium and the right ventricle, you have the tricuspid valve. So those are two major valves. You also have the pulmonary valve, which is essentially the gateway between the right side to the lungs. As we're pumping deoxygenated blood going from the right side to the lung, it has to pass through a certain valve to get oxygenated in the lungs. So that will be your pulmonary valve. You also have your aortic valve, which is which is mainly the outflow valve of the heart. So by the time the heart, the right side delivers to the lungs, gets oxygenated. Now it goes to the left side. So eventually it's going to go to the aortic valve. So by now it will be oxygenated. So your aortic valve essentially is like the main outsource for all the blood being pumped, essentially. What else do we have here? Just to make sure I go over everything. The different tissues. You have your endocardium, the epi, and then the myocardium. The endocardium obviously lining the anterior side of the heart. The myocardium, myo being muscle. So the myocardium is going to surround the muscle of the heart. And then the epicardium is going to surround the outer surfaces of the heart, essentially. So it was a little hard to actually demonstrate it because it's kind of hard to hold it as I'm talking, but trying my best to explain all the different structures as best as I can. That's your aorta. I already went over all the different components, and I believe that's it.